Now, if you were going to sum up the core message of Revelation, what's the heart of the message? Here's what Revelation is about.
The book of Revelation is full of singing, which is remarkable because it's also full of a sequence of judgments. This is God finally stepping in to deal with all the sin and rebellion in the world. And yet, it rises to several climaxes, all which have to do with praise and singing. And that's remarkable just as a phenomenon to observe that, because if you read it correctly, it will cause you to sing. It'll cause your heart to be full of joy. So if we come out of it fighting each other and all this kind of thing, we haven't understood it. The central thing, to go to your question directly, is it is a revelation of Jesus Christ. Now, the word "of" can be thought of in two directions. First of all, it reveals Jesus Christ. It is an apocalypse. It is an unveiling. In other words, when I read it, I should be getting to know more and more about Jesus Christ. That's why it's so important. You could also think of that as saying it's a revelation of Jesus Christ in the sense that he gave it. You can see that building up because the first vision in the book is the section dealing with the 7 contemporary churches in Asia Minor. But before that, there's a vision of Christ in his risen glory on earth, walking among these lampstands. And the symbolism of the book is very interesting. And we can understand how it works by this first thing. What I mean by that is many people think that the book of Revelation is full of code. And when you see a lampstand, you ask, well, what is that? Or who is that? And you're told it's church. And then you say, okay, I've got it. That isn't the point of it at all. The point of it is the exact opposite. It's looking at churches as lampstands. That is as sources of light. So what God is concerned with in this first section, chapters 1, 2, and 3, is to increase the witness power of the churches by appearing to them in all his glory. And if you look at him, he encapsulates several sources of light. His face is shining as the sun in its strength. And that's curious, isn't it? If his face is like that, why do we need lampstands? If he's illuminating it. There's so much teaching if we recognize the way the symbolism is being used. And Jesus appears dressed as a judge with all the eyes like a flame of fire and all this kind of thing. And the logic of the book is very simple. The book is full of a series of judgments. The first question to ask about that kind of thing is what kind of a throne or authority is behind that? And so the first is to see that behind it, Jesus speaks to the churches and judges them before he judges the world. That's the biblical order, isn't it? And Peter, first the house of God, and then the world, according to Peter, is judged. And the second vision in Revelation is a throne. Chapter 4, 5, 6, and 7 are a logical sequence justifying, revealing to you the nature of the authority that's behind the judgments. And I find that extremely powerful and very relevant. So the central message is to reveal Christ, but certain aspects of him. And in the churches, and we're members of churches, we need to take that first section seriously, because we'll discover that the risen Lord is interested in 3 things. He's interested in what we believe, our doctrine. He's interested in how we behave. And he's interested in what quality our love for him has. And that analysis, it seems to me, carries the book and challenges us at the deepest level.
That's really helpful. If I said Revelation, like if I was going to send out a tweet, and I said it's about Jesus being the first and the last, the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega, who has defeated the powers of this age in the past and fully to come. So trust him and worship him and rejoice in the present. Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely. And in amongst those is the fact that he has loosed us from our sins. The big problem with all the futuristic scenarios involving AI technology and everything else is they avoid the problem of human sin. And that has been the tragedy in history. People have tried to make utopia without facing the flaws in human morality, and so they've created a bloodbath.